Hi guys, and welcome to another demo lesson. And today we're looking at the IELTS speaking, and in particular, the speaking task 1. But before we look at how to answer these questions, we're going to look at the criteria that we are marked on. So first of all, the examiner will be looking at your pronunciation. How do you say your words? Do you speak with a monotone? We need to try and use intonation when answering these questions. We can't answer questions like, I was born in the Gold Coast, Australia in 1981, because it sounds very boring and you don't sound interested. We need to make sure that our words have some ups and downs in them when we speak. We also get marked on our vocabulary. So we need to try and use different words from the examiner's question. So for example, if the question was something like, what would you like to do after you finish studying? I wouldn't answer with, after I finish studying, I would like to do this. Because I'm not showing my use of the language, all I'm doing is copying his or her words and using them again. So we need to say something like, once I have completed my studies, I'm looking forward to joining this company. So we need to say the same thing, but with different words. And also when we are choosing different words, we need to try and use a bit of a higher grade kind of word. We try and avoid words like, love, or hate. Try and use words like enjoy, adore, I'm fond of, or maybe I can't stand, or I loathe. Different words to try and express how we feel about something. Like, love, and hate are too simple. We also get marked on our fluency. So we need to try and avoid any long pauses or any ums or ah. Things like this. We need to keep our answers very fluent. And finally, we are marked on our grammar. So we need to try and use different tenses, the past, the present, and the future. So these 4 different criterias are all shared 25% each. So we need to think about these when we are creating our answers. Now, task 1 of the speaking exam is not too challenging. All it basically is an introduction, and there are a couple of interview questions. So we always start first with an introduction. So you need to introduce yourself, and maybe a couple of questions will be asked about your name and where you're from. And then the examiner will ask you about a couple of different topics. These are very safe topics and quite easy for you to answer, so you shouldn't need much time to prepare. These kind of questions are about your family, about your friends, your studies, where you live, where you work. Something like this, quite easy to answer. So like you can see here on screen, I have this little warm-up. So about your identification card and about your name. And then we have these 2 topics. We have a hobby or free time, and we have sport. So these answers are not too difficult to answer, so it's important that we can extend our answer. We don't want to speak for too long, but we need to provide additional information. So like 1 or 2 sentences. In the exam, in this section, you're also asked yes or no questions. So when answering these, you don't want to say, yes I do, no I don't, yes I am, no. You can't just answer them yes or no. You need to provide additional information. So here on screen, I have some words that will help you sound very natural when answering the questions. So to start with, we can use these words. Well, it depends. I'm afraid. I guess. Or in fact, depending on what our answer is going to be. And then we can add additional information by using these words: also, so, and because. So you'll be asked to show your identification card, and they'll ask you about your full name. Could you tell me your full name, please? Sure. My name is Brett Blackmore. And what would you like me to call you? You can call me Brett. Does your name have any special meaning? No, it doesn't. And then moving on to the topics. So for example, the first one here, we need to use one of these words over here to sound natural, and then provide extra information with these words from over here. I'll do the first one for an example. So what do you usually do in your spare time? It depends on the weather. If the weather is fine, I enjoy going out and playing tennis or playing golf because I love being outside in the sunshine. But if the weather is overcast or rainy, I prefer to stay inside and play board games or read. So you can see here in my answer, first, I said it depends. It depends on two things, the weather. And then I didn't say like, I used the verb enjoy. And then I added extra information with the word because. I provided more information using the conjunction but, and I showed the other side of the argument. And I use vocabulary like overcast. So as you can see, my answer is not too long, but I'm covering all of these points that I have spoken about. Now that we've looked at how to answer these questions, another very important thing to remember when you're delivering your answers is to try and look confident. If you go into the room, you meet the examiner, and you don't make eye contact with him or her, and you speak very quietly, you're not going to get a good result. That is very unrealistic. You need to make eye contact with your examiner. So when you're speaking, try and look at him or her and answer the questions. Try and smile, put your shoulders back, look confident, and even if you make a mistake, don't worry, just keep going. Look like you want to be there. So now that we have looked at how to answer these questions and the body language we use, I would like you now to try and script some answers to these questions here on screen, please. If you're working with someone, you could practice together. And well done. I'm sure you did very well answering these questions using the same techniques we've spoken about today. Please like, comment, or share this video, and check out my site for many more free demos. I hope to see you again soon.